Hi guys, welcome back to another Tutorial Tuesday. Today we'll be breaking down how to use a film slate from filling it out and to using it on set. Let's get started. Starting off, when you look at the film slate, there's a whole bunch of information that needs to be recorded, but first we'll start off up here, and this is where you put in the name of your project or film. Next we have director and camera. This is where you'll fill in the name of the director and the director of photography. Next we have roll. So back in the day when films were recorded onto reels of film, this was used to keep track of what was filmed on what reel of film. For your own projects, it would be the same concept, but with SD cards. So whenever you change an SD card over from the camera, you just change whatever number or letter is on the slate. So next to roll, we have scene. So here you will record the scene number and the shot letter or number. You'll just have to make sure that these numbers and letters will match up with whatever is on your shot list. So be sure to talk to your AD. So next to scene is take. So every time there is a new take, you'll just have to update that number. Next up is date. That's pretty easy. All you have to do is put in the date. So next up we have day, night, interior and exterior. So pretty much you'll just have to highlight these whenever it's daytime, nighttime, if you're shooting inside or outside. So next up we have MOS and sync. So MOS is when you're not recording audio and you don't need to give it a bit of a clap. Sync is when you will be recording with audio, and that's when you do the full call of the slate and the clap at the end. Some slates carry different information. So for example, if we look here, we have filter. So that's to be used if the DOP is using a certain filter on a lens. So you just fill out what that filter is here. So looking at this slate, it's a little bit different from the previous one. So this one holds cam and frames per second. So cam is used for when you have multiple cameras on set, but most of the time you guys will be shooting with just the one, so you'd fill in the letter A here. So FPS means frames per second, so the most default one that you'll see on any set is 25 frames per second, but if you were wanting to film something like slow-mo, you'd chuck in 60 frames per second in this little section here. So with our slate filled out, let's move on to how we would use it on set. Hell yeah! So when slating, you have to make sure that the whole slate is visible, but more importantly, the top of the slate. This part is called the clapper, and the reason why we would need it in frame is so that you're creating a sync point, so that when the editor is seeing this, they can sync the visuals and audio together easily. If you're in the dark, you can use a flashlight to make the slate visible. So the camera assistant will need to call out the slate once the DOP says mark it. This is to record the information on the slate to the audio. To call out the slate, either say, scene 8, shot 7, take 3, or if your shots are in letters, you call it like this. Scene 7, shot alpha, take 2. If you're not recording audio, you won't have to clap the slate, you'll just have to hold it up to camera. Make sure that the sound of the clap is clear and that the boom operator has picked it up. If you're close to an actor's face, you can do what's called soft sticks. That's where you gently clap the board so it's not too loud in the actor's ears. So sometimes you'll need to use second sticks. This is when the first clap has an issue. For example, the audio didn't pick up the clap or the clap just wasn't in frame. Sometimes it's easier to slate at the end of a shot. This is what's called the tail slate. So when you tail slate, you just have to turn the clapper upside down. This is to signify to the editor that this is a tail slate. And that's everything you need to know about a film slate. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. We'll see you next time for another Tutorial Tuesday. Bye guys.